was it Mark Cavendish who actually said this, to upgrade yourself before you upgrade your bike. Yeah, so I
That's gonna be a title of this video. Upgrade yourself before you upgrade your
yeah,
bike.
so I'm a believer of that. So when I got this bike, like, it was a 9.3, I knew it's gonna be a 9. I knew it's gonna be 9 to 10. So I was telling myself, I'm gonna lose weight for this bike. Yeah.
Alright, okay, we are rolling. We've got Andy onto the show today. Andy, thank you so much for coming on. I knew you through Nick who has the DHL bike. So thank you very much, Nick, if you're watching this, for hooking us up. Andy, we have a very interesting story. You have a Standert, and apparently you have a bunch of other bikes as well.
Yes, I do. I have 2 Standards. One, as you can see at the back, that's a Triebwerk, the anniversary version. And then I have a Kreissage Team Edition RS. And then I have a Sinelli Pressure 2023 version, the black and yellow one. Lastly, I have the Specialized Roubaix 2021. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Again, like I like to start my interviews, how did you get into cycling? Are you a complete cyclist?
No, I'm not.
You're not, okay.
Somehow, I got into cycling back in 2012. It was more for cardio rather than cycling per se. So it was a single speed fixie. And then I realized that it was actually quite damaging to my knees. So I converted it to a single speed. Yeah. And then I got to know a few road cyclists. And then I got my first road bike from Rodalink Conalgo, aluminum frame. I think it's a Primavera.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it cheap. I think it was $900. I think 1,002, I think. Yeah, so back then.
Which year was this? When
that was, I think, 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, dirt cheap, man, comparing to what we have right now. And then I stopped. I cycle maybe once every week only, more like a weekend youngster. Yeah, with my friends. And then eventually I stopped in 2017, 2018 because of an injury to my back, lower back. Then during COVID, I think my wife wanted to ride. Yeah. So she got herself a bike before me. And then that was when I totally got into it. Got back into the game. Then I got myself a Giant Defy. And then I met a neighbor of mine who rode very frequently. He's fast . So he said, hey, come ride with me . So I was getting dropped by him almost every other time that I rode with him . So I was getting a bit frustrated. Wow, what's this guy, man? So eventually I trained myself up just to keep up with him so that I can ride with him because he's a very good friend of mine. And then I sold away the Giant Defy. That was when my obsession with Standard came about . Yeah. So I was trying to look into aluminum frames again. So I went on Google, then I found Standard. I was like, hey, wow, this colorway damn chill . Like, wow, quite nice. I don't see this on the road also. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went to the website. Then every single time they release a new colorway, it was sold out . So that got me frustrated, and that attracted me to it. Like, wow, so one of a kind . It's like, the price is not bad . Okay . So waited. Then eventually, Cycle Project Store PM me . Said that, hey, we have this Kreissage, the one that you wanted in size 52 . Do you want it? I was like, 52, a bit small, like one size smaller . Then I was talking to my friend, hey, how have but one size smaller . They said, yeah, bro, I know it's an aggressive bike. You just extend the seat post. You buy a longer stem can already. Chill already. I was like, okay . So considering also that I have a lower back issue, right? So I discussed with the guys at CPS. I said, it can not a problem. So we managed to somehow or other make it fit for me . Fit me . So I got it .
The Kreissage.
Which you still have. Which is what I have right now . The Team Edition, one in, I think, cream and orange . Yeah. So along the way, then my friend managed to say, hey, carbon frame, wow, chill, light lah and whatnot lah, arrow, blah, blah, blah. So eventually got myself that's how my obsession, not obsession, but that's how I got myself the Sinelli pressure lah.
Yeah.
And then my friend who I ride with pretty often, he rides a steel bike. Yeah, the one that I mentioned earlier on that was pretty fast. He rode a steel bike. So I was like, wow, very intrigued, I was like, wow, how come this fellow ride a steel bike also still very strong? So I told myself, okay lah, maybe it's time, maybe we can try a steel bike. Very comfortable, very, very, very springy, different kind of feel. So I toyed with the idea of a Triebwerk. And then back in 2022 was last year, December, the anniversary frame came about. The Standert launch anniversary frame. And it's 10 in the world. And one of them was in Singapore. So on that particular day when they launched it, if I'm not mistaken, I was with my wife having lunch. So I was going through Instagram. So I saw, hey, wow, chill leh. I showed my wife, hey, how can things are my last one So she was like, oh, quite nice And the thing about it is she's a size 52 too. She's a size 52, so I can also fit a size 52. So I was telling her like, hey, you know what? If we get this right, then maybe you can ride it too.
Yeah.
So she was like totally sold by the idea. I was like, okay, steady already. So I was like, okay, after we makan, we head over to CPS, then we see how lah. But in me, I was ready to throw it down already lah. Honestly, tell you, it's like, oh, she give go ahead already, right? What are you waiting for, right? Well, very seldom wife will give go ahead one, right?
Yeah.
So quickly gobble out my food and I was like, okay, it's time to go. Let's go. So we went over to CPS. So I remember heading in. I was telling Sherwin, guy from CPS, like, hey, bro, I'm here to see the limited edition 10th anniversary Triebwerk. So he showed it to me, and I was like, wow, damn chill. I was like totally smitten by it lah. So I told Sherwin, like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to get it lah. If he could meet like Ultigra or whatnot, right? Or Force or get the parts that I wanted, then there's a very good possibility that I'll get it lah. But unfortunately, he discussed it with Standert, and then they were quite adamant that they wanted to sell it as a premium bike lah. So cut long story short, I waited for this frame for at least a year. Sherwin texted me. I was on my lunch break. So I switched on my phone. I was going through my phone. I got a message from him. It's like, hey, Andy, the good news for you, the Standert is available lah. The Triebwerk. So how? I was like, yes, no problem, bro.
After 1 year.
After 1 year, I said, yes, I'm this is mine.
Yeah.
No, don't waste time, already, bro. Mine.
It's funny, right?
Yeah. So he was like, you're not going to discuss it with your wife? Bro, buy first, talk later.
That's always the case with cyclists, right? We buy first and then we break the news down later.
But she was pleased with it. I mean, like when I told her that, hey, Standert, I managed to get the Triebwerk frame. So she was quite happy. Because she also liked it. Yeah. So I just grab and go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And tell us, like, for Standert, what's their bike lineup like, and what makes them so special?
What makes them so special? I think the paintwork. It's one of a kind. I mean, they're very, very loud, and I'm quite a loud fella. I like my frames to be. I like my frame to be outstanding, stand out among the rest, like a Sultan lah. Yeah, whether it being a rainbow color or whatnot. I prefer it to be in red or gold rather than just black. Yeah. Which is what I see almost every single time on the road nowadays. Completely full black. I mean, it's gorgeous lah. I mean, matte black. I mean, my specialist is matte black full on lah. But it's just something different when you write something that is loud. You just stick out a sore thumb,
Yeah.
And I like that lah. Just stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. And how's the riding feel like of riding a steel bike? You own carbon, aluminium. You're the perfect person to ask. You've ridden all three materials.
Okay, I was recently asked this question. I'm not a very technical fella lah. Honestly, I just ride lah. If you ask me, if you have to ask in my own words, how do I feel? It feels like carbon. It feels like it's as comfortable as carbon, but but without the feedback of an aluminium.
Oh, let me try to brain that.
You know when you ride aluminium, right? When you ride aluminium, you can actually feel the road. You can actually feel every single bit, every single thing on the road, like every single gravel, every single thing that you go over, you can actually feel it down to the smallest stone. You can actually feel it. It's very, there's a buzz to it, lah. And then when you ride a carbon that you don't, there's no feedback, there's nothing. You just feel hollow, you just feel empty, right? Then you every single bump or stone it gets absorbed by the carbon, and you are in the most comfortable state. Apart from it being, if it's an aero bike, which I have, it's comfortable, tiring lah. But in terms of ride quality, generally it's comfortable because it absorbs all the vibration. And then you have steel, right, which is stiff. It's comfortable, but yet without the feedback of an aluminium. It's very different.
You gotta ride it to understand.
Yeah, you have to ride to understand. I was just explaining it to the CPS guys on I think last week when I came in. I was saying, wow, this bike ride's like a dream, man. It's like, I mean, I'm a very paranoid fella. So whenever I ride a carbon, right, every bump that I go onto or every bump or something that happens to something hard that hits the frame, I'll be like, oh no, it's a carbon, so I got to check it and whatnot. So when I ride this steel bike, right, it's like, I know that the integrity will always be intact as compared to a carbon, but yet it's as comfortable as a carbon. So I think that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
But in terms of performance wise, right, let's say, do you race?
I try to.
Okay.
I did my last race in July. The Letap Desaru. Yeah, I raced with I used my Kreissage aluminium frame to race. I didn't want to bring my scenario because I was that paranoid that I'm so afraid, if it because my first race, right? So I'm afraid that if I fall, right, then something's gonna happen to my bike, and that the bike cost me like 5 figures. I'm like, oh no. So that was the reason why I bought my standard. Yeah.
But
so,
in terms of performances, let's say if you were to go for like a race, for example, do you like the recent Desaru one? Do you think you would have been much faster with the Sinelli because it's a carbon frame, maybe much more aero? Yeah. And weight wise, right? How this is obviously much heavier.
Yeah.
It's what, 9 kilos?
Yeah, 9.3.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think there's much difference, honestly.
Really? In terms of the geometry, being more aero and
wow.
I mean, obviously you're still gonna smoke me. It's all about the rider, right? But I mean,
yes,
you will still have that advantage. You're having a much more aero bike, lighter.
I mean, at our level, I'm not even an amateur, right? I can maybe I'm training to go for races, right? At our level, where my friend would actually say grassroots level, like us, where we try to find as much time as possible to ride or to train. Marginal gains at our level, I don't really think much of a difference, but
yeah.
I mean, I think was it Mark Cavendish who actually said this? To upgrade yourself before you upgrade your bike. Yeah, so I
that's gonna be a title of this video. Upgrade yourself before you upgrade your bike.
So I'm a believer of that. So when I got this bike, right, it was a 9.3. I knew it's gonna be a 9. I knew it's gonna be 9 to 10. So I was telling myself, I'm gonna lose weight for this bike. Yeah, I mean, so I lost like 1 kg for it, and I literally lost a kg for it. So it's like, so right now it's when I'm on this bike, right, it's almost similar to my Kreissage because I lost 1 kg for it.
Yeah.
But I said I don't think there's much of any much difference if I were to ride a carbon frame which is aero or this. I mean, I will say not much of a difference. Like my friend, the fellow who got me into this, he rides a steel frame, but he's smashing me every single time I ride with him. And not only when I was on my Kreissage, when I had my aero frame out, which is the Sinelli Pressure, which is a literal aero bike, he's still trashing me, man. Yeah, he's still dropping me like fly.
The rider.
So he's the rider, I guess. Yeah.
And I asked you, will you ever go? I mean, you the bikes that you own are not very mainstream for a Singaporean demographic, right? Where we see Dogmas, S-Works. I mean, I'm a sucker for that. But you, on the other hand, are the complete polar opposite. And I asked you, will you consider getting these kind of bikes? And you said you went to Thailand, you tried the Dogma F. And we had a bit of similarities just now. I said, I also went to Thailand and we probably rode the same Dogma F. And I said that, I made a TikTok of this video and I reviewed the bike and I said, okay, I'm here in the Bangkok Skylane. I just rented this Pinarello Dogma F for 1,500 Thai baht. That's about 60 Singapore dollars. I've clocked about 25k, so that's one loop. So this bike is a size 50. I'm a 173 centimeter in height, and it's a great bike, but I don't know what's the hype, man. Maybe because I haven't had enough time on the bike, but this bike is equipped with the latest Dura Ace 12 speed, Bond Ranger Aeolus saddle, and very sleek. What's the name? Most cockpit, whatever that is, and a Dura Ace C60. Right off the bat, compared to my Venge, I could feel that the acceleration is much faster. It's also very lighter, much lighter. Maybe my build is just heavy. That's the first impressions from the first 20Ks I can feel compared to my Venge. But people tell me that the Dogma F is a very stiff bike. I can't tell because if you can see, the Skylane is extremely flat. But what I have to say is the aggressiveness of the geometry. So even with, I'm not sure if you can see how steep the drop is. There's still a lot of spaces in there. But first thing I can feel that is I'm being propelled forward much more, and it's much more aggressive. Maybe because the frame is smaller. But yeah, I can't tell why the bike is so bloody expensive, and I really don't know what's the hype, man. It does look nice, head turner, but I wouldn't pay $10,000-$12,000 on a frame. I was being obliterated by an uncle, a Thai uncle who's 50 years old on a Specialized Alice Sprint here in Bangkok. And he's just pulling on the headwind, and here I am with such a fancy bike, and I'm tailgating him. So maybe it's me, I'm just weak. But yeah, I really don't know why there are so many bikes like this in Singapore. It is a nice bike, I can't deny that, but it's just way too expensive. Can't tell the performance is really there for paying so much money for this. And I guess is it also made in Taiwan? You guys tell me. Is this really made in Taiwan, or is it made in Italy? So yeah, here it is. What do you guys think of the Dogma F? This is my opinion after 20Ks here in the Bangkok Skylane. If you were to blindfold me and tell me that's a $10,000 bike, I would not believe it, because okay, it might be very controversial. I'm so sorry to all those who are owning Dogmas, but
I think it's a very controversial video, especially what I just mentioned. There's not going to be much difference in terms of aero bike or steel bike. He's just a rider.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it controversial anyway.
Yeah. So would you get yourself to one of those mainstream bikes, and what's your opinion on that? And what was your feedback of the Dogma when you went to the Skylane?
Wow.
Sorry, just a bit of a handful.
Don't think I would get into the mainstream population of getting a Dogma. I mean, if I have the financial power, of course, maybe yes lah. For the sake of getting one. But I mean, Pinarello Dogma is like the top end. I mean, you need to earn a certain amount of money, right? I mean, why stretch yourself, right?
Yeah.
Especially one that I believe in upgrading the rider rather than upgrading the bike first, right?
Yeah. If you guys can see, he's very fit. He's very, very fit.
So, no, I doubt I will see myself in the Pinarello.
Not Pinarello, or any other, S-Works.
I do have a Specialized, but if you ask me whether I'll get an S-Works, a top-end frame,
you're happy with this?
Yeah, I'm very happy where I am. I mean, I like I said, I like to set standard like Saltam, hence standard, the colorway. I like to be a bit different. I prefer SRAM than Shimano. I prefer SRAM than Shimano. I know Shimano may be a better group set, right? But SRAM, it's just different. You don't see many SRAM around, or rather, maybe similarly to what's the other group set again? campy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. If you ask me, would I get campy? Yes, I would, because it's just totally different. I like to be a bit different than the rest.
Yeah.
I see your bike as I see a bike as an extension of you.
Like a tool.
More like a character. Yeah, it's an extension of your character. So I like to be a bit different than the rest.
Yeah. Okay. And so back to the Dogma F in Thailand.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
What was your opinion on that?
I thought that it is okay. It is a bike.
Someone actually commented on my video and said maybe the Dogma that you rented in Thailand is not the original OEM or.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know. There are so many there are so many frames right now out there that is China made that you can't even distinguish between original, authentic, or not. Or
from the look of it.
Yeah, from the look of it. Yeah. So, and it's that good right now, you know. Yeah. So, but if you ask me, the one that I tried, it just felt like any other bikes that I ride. Like it felt similarly to this, I guess.
Yeah.
It's stiff, but if you were to ask me, would I splurge on it? Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. Dogma lovers, I'm sorry. Please don't drop me when you see me.
It's a nice bike.
It's a very nice bike. I mean, it is very nice lah. But if you ask me whether or not I'll drop money, no, I won't.
Before, people who follow me on Discord will blast me. It's like, you actually said you wanted to buy a Dogma F for F12. Now you're talking, crap about the bike. Like I said, it looks like a nice bike until I actually went to the Skylane. So you guys should go to Skylane and try the Dogma F for 60
before
Singapore
buying, right?
Yeah, go 60 Singapore dollars, 4 hours, go and ride the bike. And then that changed my mind after riding it. I was like, wow, okay, $10,000+ for the frame. Maybe not.
Yeah, my friend was like asking me I mean, again, I'm sorry to Dogma lovers. They asked me how was it I simply told them, if I wanted something so stiff, right, that I can actually feel the road itself, right, I've gotten an aluminum bike. Yeah,
I think it's the prestige.
Yeah, I think it's just the prestige. I mean, really, it is a very nice bike. I mean, I could give it as but I mean, I don't have the financial power to buy
10,000+, man.
You're gonna see a lot of comments in your YouTube like, wow, this fellow don't know what he's talking about. It's crap, it's nonsense.
It's okay. As long as you enjoy your bike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a Dogma, I mean, that's good for you. You have the bike that everybody wants.
Yeah, man.
So no point being envious or, we're all cyclists at the end of the day. Could you just give us a rundown of your bike setup and the reason why you build it up this way? And what's your geometry and your height? Someone actually asked what's the rider's height and what's
I'm a 173 cm. My inseam is 81.
Hey, exactly like me.
Yeah, you can have it again, right? No problem.
But you have very high seat posts.
Yeah. So I was fitted by fit school. So
CPS, right?
Yeah, CPS. So he fitted me as such. I don't tend to ask much why. Why is it this particular length or whatnot? As long as generally I feel okay on the bike and I'm okay. In terms of build, I have the SRAM Force 12 speed, the first generation one. And then I have a 165 crank. Don't ask me why.
I also have 165.
Yeah. So I have 165 because my friend was the one who introduced me to it. I said that maybe it'll be good for your knee because I got a very bad knee. So he said that maybe because I can't flex my knee more than 90 degree. So
but do you feel that your cadence is much higher because it's 165?
Yeah. That was actually at that point that thing a friend of mine pointed out that to me, said that if you get something shorter, right, your cadence will go a bit higher
to maintain the same
speed. If not I wouldn't know. So eventually when the next ride when I took it, actually quite true. My cadence went a bit higher. So that was why I got 165. It's more for the bad knee rather than the cadence and then I have the Shimano Ortega pedal. The power meter is from SRAM 2 quads. The wheel set was recommended to me by Build Wheel, CPS too. I think it's a 40mm HED Vanquish Pro RC4. I think is it? RC. I think it's 40mm lah. I don't know much about bikes lah. I just ride lah. So and then you have the Triebwerk frame along with this is Soka Circa titanium bottle cage. And then my contact parts are all from whiskey.
Never heard of this brand.
Yeah, I know, right?
Where is it from?
It's from Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, US. So I got it because I just wanted to be different.
Yeah.
And the fact that it reminds me of my past. Whiskey. Yeah. I know, right? What all these halal fella and the Malay or I drink whiskey. I mean, like, we all have our vices back then. Yeah, so it reminds me of my past, the brand whiskey. So it's very haram.
Okay.
So yeah, other than that.
Saddle.
Oh, the saddle is actually not a hand-me-down, a loan-me-down from a friend of mine, Michael. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for this. He loaned me because I wanted to actually buy the Sally 3D printed, and I ride on all my other bikes. I ride a specialized saddle, the Roman mirror and the power mirror, and then I thought the Sally 3D looks damn good. It's so slim, right? Wow. I was like, but I was so afraid to buy because it's so expensive. And then saddle is very, very, very personal, right? So I asked him, I said, hey, you know what? I want to get it, but I don't want to waste money. So he said, hey, you know what? I got a Sally saddle. Why don't you try it first? If you're okay, then you can just buy it off me, lah. So he loaned it to me, lor. Then
you liking it so far?
It's okay. But I prefer my power mirror. That the power mirror, the 3D printed one. Yeah. And the Roman 3D printed one. I prefer that, lah. Honestly.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll probably just get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this Triebwerk, 1 in Singapore, 10 in the world.
Correct.
And I asked you earlier, what's the difference between this and probably the normal Standert Triebwerk? Is it just paint scheme?
I think it's just paint scheme.
Okay.
I honestly think it's just paint scheme.
Right.
So it's similar. I think I was looking through the geometry before I purchased it. And then I realized that it's actually similar to the previous model, which is a disc version. So I don't think there is much. I think it's just marketing, limited edition. But I like the paint scheme. It's very glittery, greyish, glittery kind of.
What color is this called? Is there a name for the color?
I do not know. Is there a name for this color?
I have no idea. We can go and search it out later.
Yeah, I think we search out later.
Okay.
But honestly, I was just sold by the fact that it was very glittery. Yeah. That's all.
People like to know FTP. So do you know what's your FTP?
Wow. My FTP currently is around 260.
Okay, that's not reputable.
Yeah, it's average.
Yeah. Okay, 260 for everyone who's wondering online. Okay, I've got this section where I like to ask people questions submitted by my fellow followers on Instagram.
Okay.
Apparently there's quite a lot of questions, but I'll pick some. So some are not questions, but just a statement. We'll see what's your response to that.
I'm married. If any female out there, I'm married.
Your wife watching?
Sorry?
Is your wife watching? Gonna watch?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think she'll watch lah.
After you say this, then she'll like give you another ticket to buy another
She's
bike,
like my main sponsor lor.
She writes, right? You said she
does. She writes with WCR. We write with WCR.
Oh, WCR. Nice. Okay, cool. The first one, not a question, but a statement. Why so heavy?
Me? Bike.
Yeah, bike.
Wow. I'm not a weight weenie. I like the bike. I think it's nice. If it can get me to the speed that I want, okay lor, buy lor.
When you buy bikes, do you look at weight? Like, will you calculate the weights? I know friends who are like that. They will like, have an Excel sheet, calculate each part, what's the weight, and then sum everything up. I'm like, whoa, dude, that's a bit too much for me, man.
Honestly, I used to.
You used to?
I used to.
Okay.
Especially with the Kreissage. I was comparing it to the contact parts, to Data, NV, and Zip. And then I realized like Data had the lightest parts, contact parts, the stem, the cockpit, all this is much lighter. And then I realized that to a certain extent, these are all just marginal gains lah. Yeah, as I said, and then I some friend of mine, as I said, mentioned earlier lah, rides a steel bike, but yet managed to drop me so fast. So I tend to ask myself, why waste that much money?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm not a pro rider. I'm just trying to race, or rather trying to go for races, trying to just have fun.
Yeah.
Why want to waste so much money, right? I don't earn that much anyway. Yeah. So I was like, okay lah. As long as it's below 10, it should be okay lah.
Yeah.
So from then I realized that, it's more at our level, it's more of a rider rather than the part. Yeah. I mean, if you get to a pro level where you can't upgrade your body already, then I think that's where the weight of the bike or the performance of the frame of the bike or whatever parts comes to play. But other than, if you're at grassroots level, trying to go for rides over the weekend.
Weekend warrior.
Yeah, weekend warrior. I think 10 kg, okay lah, not bad lah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Singapore very small. You get dropped, so I'll see you at the next traffic light.
Traffic light.
Correct.
No need buy Ferrari lah. Take bus also same.
Someone that time, someone dropped me. I was like, okay, but I still see that at the end of WCH. Like, hey, you're still here.
Yeah. That's funny. This guy came onto my show. He had a very vintage frame, a steel frame as well. He said, question to you: why did you get an off-the-shelf steel bike instead of a custom-made one?
This is custom-made. So I just got the frame, is it?
I seem like custom-made frames, like those like Bastion, where they measure you up. And I think CPS does a lot of that.
Yeah. That will probably be the end game.
No, not Dogma F.
No, unfortunately not. Bastion, honestly, Bastion will be my end game.
So nice, man.
Yeah, Bastion is like nice, right?
Every time I see T3 posts on Instagram, it's like, wow.
I know. Bastion will be the end game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my wife's gonna watch this, right? It's like, hey, I lied to you, lah. This is not my end game. Probably if I manage to sell one of my bikes, then probably I'll get out of Bastion. But for now, I'm happy with what I have, lah.
Well, when I look at the Bastion, right? It's so nice. Wait time is so bloody long, and but that kind of bike, it's so scary to ride on the road, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
But Bastion being Bastion, it's
a really lovely bike.
It's a lovely bike. So I think getting back to the question why I didn't get it customed. I honestly don't know how to answer you, my friend.
Price is usually the biggest factor.
Price is one of them. But I think not Sinelli. Sinelli does the custom frame. Sinelli does the custom.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
No, sorry, the only colorway. The colorway, yeah. But I don't know why. I saw this bike. I loved it. I got it. Yeah, Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing on the bike?
What's my favorite thing on the bike?
Yeah.
The frame.
Has to be the frame.
The colorway, them chill.
Yeah. How are SRAM cranksets? I believe he's asking this question because there's a known, or maybe it's reputable for the chain to always drop on SRAM. Is that true?
So far, very seldom it dropped on me. Yeah.
But it has dropped?
Yes, dropped before, once or twice.
In or out?
In.
Is it a tuning issue?
Not too sure. I'm not a technical fella. Yeah.
Do you have a chain catcher in there?
No, I don't.
It doesn't scratch the frame.
I don't care.
Good answer.
I'm gonna trash it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But get SRAM, man. SRAM is different.
I've tried SRAM. I'm on Shimano on the longest time. I can't really comment much on SRAM. I used to have it on my mountain bike. But Shimano, I can attest to it being extremely reliable. But I'm not saying that SRAM is not reliable. And it's very smooth and very fast.
Honestly, yes. Fast. Responsive. It's very, very responsive.
SRAM, I feel a bit sluggish.
It's laggy, sluggish. It's true. But I like SRAM because it's different.
Are you sure it's different? There's quite a number of fair people who have SRAM as well, right? Different will be campy. Or some AliExpress.
But it used to be... SRAM was... When I started in 2012, right? SRAM wasn't the go-to group set. But let's be honest here. Right now, right? If you were to ask every single one, anyone out there, right? What's the group set that they will probably buy? It will be the go-to one. The go-to group, right? The go-to group set, it will be definitely be Shimano. It's very seldom. Maybe out of 10, maybe 3 of them will probably say SRAM. And then one of them will probably say Campy, because Campy is very pricey, right? I don't have the money to buy Campy. Yeah. So I like to be the three of them to, be a bit different.
Yeah. And this is my personal question, right? So HED wheel sets, I think we didn't really talk much about it.
Yes.
What other wheel sets do you own, and why in terms of someone who is new into cycling or maybe wants to make an upgrade to carbon wheel sets, where do they start? And so many options out there. Zip, you have HED for example, Campy. What's your opinion on that? And why HED?
Why HED? Because I wanted to, honestly, why HED? Because back then in 2012, I started on a fixie, right, on a single speed, right? So I was quite young back then. I think, how was I? One now.
You're 41.
I'm 41,
You
man.
don't look 41, what the heck?
Oh, thanks, man. I just turned 41 last week.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. 2012, 41, that is 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I was 31 then. Quite old, right? I started cycling.
I'm 1 decade younger than
you.
So you started doing fixie when I'm at my age now.
So when I was on fixie single speed, right, I think back then there were kids riding, or rather those who could afford a proper wheel set on a fixie lah. They had HED on them, and I thought it was damn bloody cool lah. Yeah, and the
decals coming out.
Decals, and then tri-spoke was so damn bloody cool on the fixie. Like wow, it was like totally like it totally attracted me back then lah. It was the go-to wheel set like, right, a fixie, you gotta go to get HED. So I didn't want to purchase it because it's too expensive. Yeah. And then especially I don't ride that much back then, right? So before I got this, it's a funny story behind this lah. I actually purchased a light bicycle wheel set. I ordered for a light bicycle wheel set. So I'm also quite an impatient fella. I think CPS can attest to that lah. I'm a very impatient fella. I actually told them that this frame would actually be built up next year. I got this frame supposedly for next year, to build up next year. I'm thinking, this for next year lah, you know. The next thing you know, like, the group set is here, you know, the contact part is here. Can you guys fix it up for me? It's like, hey Andy, I know you cannot want lah, you. So I was waiting for a light bicycle for I think a month. But I think there was some issues with with delivery. So they wasn't able to deliver to the shop on time. And then I kept on going back, how my wheel set. So they said, haven't been delivered. I said, okay. And then on display was HED. So
just went for it lah.
Just went for it. I was like, you know what? I tell you what, just get the HED lah. I mean, like, if it's okay with the shop lah. I mean, like, if you're okay with it, then I just get a HED lah. Then you list it up to carbon tie or carbon tie hub, similar to.
What do you want carbon tie?
I don't know. Like, it's just okay, it's carbon tie. Yeah. So actually, I got this one. I wanted to go for a race, crit race. So I did not know much knowledge about the crit race, right? So I was talking to the guys at CPS. So they said that, maybe you should get something light so they can accelerate faster and whatnot. So they recommended me the extra, the carbon tie hubs lah. And then also recommended the 40mm, so it's much lighter. So it accelerates faster rather than trying to hold speed. I don't know how true is that, but yeah, I just got what they recommended me lah.
Okay. Next question. It's a bit a long one. If blindfolded and given a different brand from same material and build, could you tell them apart?
No, I can't. I can't.
But this bike isn't too expensive. The Standert as a brand.
Yeah, Standert as a brand isn't too expensive lah. It's affordable. But it just stands out lah. It stands out. The colorway. You just go to the. I mean, I'm not sponsored by Standert or whatnot lah.
Yeah.
But
I prefer the colorway on your other Standert.
Yeah, the orange.
That one looks much more louder.
As I mentioned earlier, that is my go-to bike.
Yeah.
That's my love there.
That one looks like a NASCAR bike, you know.
Yeah,
the decals, it's like, wow,
the sponsor, the team sponsor.
I'm like you, right? I like all these stickers correct, super loud.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Yeah. How did you get so lucky to buy this frame? Is it because you have good relationship with CPS? If I were to go in, not buying anything from CPS and tell them I want the frame, do you think they'll give it to me?
They would.
I
mean, they are very fair. They're very fair. They are. You know, I'm not a special customer of theirs. You know, I'm not. They don't give it to me because I'm a friend. No. I think generally because I kept on asking. I think they got sick and tired of me. It's like, wow,
Just give it to this guy so he doesn't disturb
Yeah,
us.
I think it's like the solution to their problems. Like, hey, Andy wants it. It's like, okay, just text Andy lah. He confirm 199.9%. Confirm top one.
Yeah.
Which is true. I got it lah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Your friend, I guess. Do you know anyone by the name of Aaron?
Hey, hi Aaron.
Okay. Is this bike nakal enough for you? Nakal meaning naughty.
Yeah.
Bike owner knows what this question means. Oh, okay. I don't know what this means.
Nakal is a nickname given to a friend of mine. Cause I tend to ride as fast as I can and as fast as I can lah, basically. So this was a nickname given to him by him. So people know me as Naka, Andy Naka lah. Andy Naughty lah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this is, Aaron, to answer you, this is nakal enough for me, but it is not as nakal as my Kreissage.
Okay, I'll acknowledge the rest of questions submitted by everyone. They're all on the wait, so we've already spoken about them. I'm not going to ask again. This frame is only for casual ride, but for event race, a bit no, not suitable, not stiff. Do you agree?
Again, is a rider. I would. I've taken this out for a short ride, for a slow ride, and I've also taken this out for a fast ride. It works similarly for me.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I would take it out for a race. No problem.
Any thoughts on the new Triebwerk model with integrated cabling? Shame it didn't make this release.
The integrated version is damn chill lah. It's very neat lah.
Were you just like a little bit later?
It was never in my thought because I only wanted this Triebwerk.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It was either this or no Triebwerk at all.
Okay. Maybe we'll give this the last question for today.
Sure.
What are the misconceptions people have about steel frames that this bike disproves? Thanks.
Wow. Very technical, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I should start that. Misconceptions people have. For me, I feel that it's not as aero and it's heavy.
Yeah,
and it's heavy.
I don't see anything wrong with it. The misconception of it being heavy, again, I believe in the rider. So I still stand firm that you upgrade yourself first before you upgrade the bike. So if I like the bike and the bike is 12 kg, I would still get it. Yeah, so I got no answer to that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I can't answer you, my friend, but it's just too technical for me already.
Yeah.
But if you ask me that, if this works for me, I say it does.
It's a nice bike.
Yeah, it's a nice bike.
Next time we do the Kreissage.
Sure.
That's the end of today's episode. We are just on time. Anything you would like to mention about this bike? People maybe who might want to get a Standert. Any tips, tricks before we end this? Free airtime.
No, man. Just get a Standert. Looks good. As long as you look good, you will never go wrong. Right?
Yeah. Maybe Standert will sponsor you after today.
Wow,
you need to faster discuss with your wife, need to make space for one more bike.
I wish they would. But yeah, I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah. Andy, thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me. I'm psyched to be here.
Thank you so much. I love having this kind of discussion. It's very funny and you've been a very wonderful guest. And a round of applause for Andy. Thank you so much.
Alright, guys.
I drunk off your life and I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't numb the prey, but this time I